analysing Enzo Maresca's tactical issues in Chelsea's matches against Newcastle requires looking at specific instances and his overall philosophy. It's important to note that the provided search results pertain to the 2024 to 2025 season, with one match report being very recent, May 11, 2025, and the analysis of Maresca's tactics generally describes his philosophy as manager of Chelsea in the current season. Therefore, any discussion of his issues would be based on these recent observations. Enzo Maresca's tactical approach, as described in the search results, is characterized by positional play and rotations. He favors a methodical approach, using positional play and player rotations to achieve flexibility and control, deep build-up and overloads. His teams build from the back with short passes, often involving the goalkeeper, to create numerical overloads. He wants his backline to be calm on the ball, to bait the opposition press. Inverted fullbacks. A key element is one of the fullbacks tucking inside to form a 3-4-1 shape in possession, allowing a midfielder to push forward. This helps overload the centre and dominate possession. Attacking half spaces. Players are encouraged to find attacking midfielders in the pockets, between opposition lines, and to exploit the half spaces. High defensive line and counter-pressing. Out of possession, Chelsea reverts to a back four, often narrow, with a high defensive line to compress space and win the ball back quickly. If a quick regain isn't possible, they recover to shape. Now, let's consider the specific tactical issues you mentioned. He used DM as right back and right back as midfield. While the search results don't explicitly state ADM, playing as a right back or a right back, playing as a traditional attacking midfielder, they do offer insights that could lead to such interpretations or highlight potential issues related to Maresca's system. Possible interpretations and issues. DM as right back or a similar scenario. Inverted fullback role. Maresca's system heavily relies on an inverted fullback. If a central midfielder, like a defensive midfielder or a player with those attributes, is deployed at right back, it could be an attempt to enhance the inverting aspect. This player would then tuck into midfield when Chelsea has possession, effectively playing a central role. Issue. If a natural DM is playing an inverted fullback role, they might lack the natural defensive instincts and pace required for a wide defensive position when the team is out of possession, especially against quick wingers. This could create defensive vulnerabilities on the flanks, particularly during transitions. They might not track back wide quickly enough or be comfortable in 1v1 situations out wide. The article mentions Moises Caicedo doctor making for tackles in the Newcastle 2-0 loss, suggesting a defensive midfield player might have been in a wide defensive role at some point or was covering that area. Right back as midfield. Inverted fullback role again. This is a direct consequence of Maresca's inverted fullback tactic. The right back is effectively playing a midfield role in possession. Malo Gusto is explicitly mentioned as an example of a fullback moving into central midfield spaces. Issue. While designed for control and overload, this can lead to lack of natural width. If both fullbacks are inverting, Chelsea might lack natural width in their attack, making them predictable and easier to defend against if the opposition defends narrowly. Exposed flanks. When possession is lost, the wide areas can be exposed. If the inverted fullback cannot recover quickly enough to their defensive position, this is particularly problematic against teams that are strong on the counter-attack through the wings, which Newcastle are capable of. Workload on wide attackers. The wingers might be relied upon excessively to provide width and perform defensive duties, potentially leading to fatigue or reduced attacking output. The analysis of the Newcastle 2-0 loss mentions Jacob Murphy DMR for Newcastle, having a high rating and contributing offensively, which could be a symptom of Chelsea's wide areas being exposed. Analysis of Chelsea versus Newcastle 2024 to 2025 season. Recent match, May 11, 2025. The most recent match report, Newcastle 2-0 Chelsea, provides some context. Early goal and red card, Chelsea. conceded early, and then went down to 10 men after Nicholas Jackson's red card. This significantly impacted Maresca's tactical plan, playing an hour with 10 men against a team like Newcastle at St James Park is incredibly difficult, regardless of initial tactics. Jackson's red card and its impact. The red card for Jackson forced Maresca to shuffle his pack, bringing on Reece James for Noni Madueke. This suggests a reshaping of the attack and potentially a more defensive posture. Improved performance in the second half, despite being down to 10 men. This suggests that the team showed spirit, togetherness, and effort in adversity. However, it doesn't necessarily negate tactical issues in the first half or the overall plan. It might indicate a shift to a more direct or resilient approach after the numerical disadvantage. Newcastle's strengths. Newcastle is noted for creating chances through individual skill, counter-attacks, and often attacking through the middle and using through balls. Chelsea's weaknesses are listed as avoiding offside, protecting the lead, defending against long shots and through ball attacks, and avoiding individual errors. Some of these weaknesses could be exacerbated by a system that relies on full-backs inverting, potentially leaving space for through balls or quick counter-attacks if the defensive shape isn't maintained. Conclusion on tactical issues. Like the video and subscribe to the Chelsea Kingdom YouTube channel, please.
Conclusion on tactical issues. While the specific claims of DM as right back and right back as midfield are likely a simplified observation of Maresca's inverted full-back system, they highlight potential vulnerabilities. Rigidity vs adaptability. Maresca is described as very methodical and doesn't like to change his approach often. While this can bring consistency, it might also lead to issues against teams that can exploit the inherent weaknesses of his system, for example, exposed flanks against counterattacks, or when facing unforeseen circumstances like red cards. Player suitability. The success of the inverted fullback system heavily relies on the player's ability to perform dual roles, defender and midfielder. If a player isn't comfortable or proficient in both, it can expose tactical frailties. If a DM is indeed playing a wide role, their defensive comfort in wide areas is crucial. Risk-reward. The deep build-up and baiting the press are high-risk, high-reward strategies. If players make individual errors, a listed weakness for Chelsea, it can lead to easy goals for the opposition, as seen in some Newcastle goals against Chelsea historically. Newcastle will score as a result of an opposition error is a forecast. In essence, Maresca's tactical philosophy aims for control and attacking overloads, but the specific execution of his inverted fullback system, particularly if personnel choices are not perfectly suited, can lead to defensive vulnerabilities and difficulties in adapting to fluid opposition attacks, especially against direct and counter-attacking teams like Newcastle. The red card in the most recent game further complicated any tactical analysis, as it forced an immediate change in approach. If you like my contents, please like the video and subscribe to the Chelsea Kingdom YouTube channel.